Hey everyone! Elsewhere used to drop a devlog that in my opinion fixes most of the problems I had with Apeirophobia for over 4 years. It's such a crazy change too, as 2 years ago with the same dev team, it looked like a complete desert. Now, you may be looking at my praise and asking yourself, is the game looking good? Well, the short answer is yes. Long answer though is a yes still. So continue watching to know exactly what I've liked about this devlog, and the smallest, tiniest thing that I actually didn't like about the entire 20-minute long devlog, which is actually a little. This video will only be about the devlog. I know there's a lot of leaks, most notably the partygoer entity leak, but if I did, yeah, it'd be an hour long, so let's get right into it. Let's get to the interesting part, the gameplay. I was feeling so happy every time we're showing off a new mechanic. For starters, we're getting every mechanic from the old Apeirophobia back into this one, although albeit more polished. On other things, we are finally getting the ability to crawl. I think they showed a bit of this in the 3-minute long teaser of level 0 from the actual Elsewhere mode. And there to say, I love that. I actually love being able to crawl, as basically it gives more of a movement option that all Apeirophobia didn't have. Now, being given the option to now peek upwards, it's pretty great, as it means that in some levels and or future ones, if we're near the monster, if we just peek up, we'll be able to tell where the monster exactly is. This makes for a great strategy survival game, as if he's near of you but on a higher part of the level, you'll be able to tell your teammates who might be on that set part where the monster is. And one of the best features that they showed here, the camera rework. I'm actually really loving it. Something to note on the old Apeirophobia, if you don't remember what a note said, or what a wall told you to go towards, you had to backtrack, which could sometimes lead on you getting lost or killed. Long gone are those days. You can now take a picture of your surroundings, change the flash resolution thing, and the cap being just at 6. Now, this seems useless. You have a cap of 6, but you can delete old photos either way, so if you get onto the next level, you won't need the lower combination photo from the other one. What I'd love to do is give us another motive to use the camera. Make it so we can use it on some kind of entity to stun it temporarily as a mechanic for said entity, and make for a great and neat concept that, from my point of view, would give the entities a diverse and unique ability instead of. Okay, this guy runs at you and kills you, and this other guy runs at you and kills you. What do you think this one will do? Look at him and he'll go away? No! You use the camera to see him running at you and killing you. Okay, let's try this again. What do you think this guy does? Runs at you and kills you? Nuh-uh. You look at him and you get a heart attack. Look at him again and your heart explodes into a million pieces. I don't get it. Yeah, me neither. I like the new omnidirectional movement, as though it's one of the smallest changes that they could have made in the entire game, it gives the game a lot more life. I like that there's now an animation for almost everything in the game, where in the old Apeirophobia it was the same walking animation, crouching, and the climbing is just the regular old Roblox climbing one. Speaking of giving things more life, I'm so glad we're getting different sounds for everything. Make the game feel more immersive and like somewhere where you could actually be, instead of a dumb Roblox game about escaping monsters and levels as your sanity gradually changes and you meet a guy who wants to help you, but he can also make entities appear of mid-air? Yeah, you can tell I do not understand the story. The levels already feel much better than all the Apeirophobia ever could, and maybe we would have seen a bit of this in the cancelled finale part 2 update and sub-levels maybe? Speaking of levels, I'm finally glad we get talk about retro mode. As you've seen from the script in this video, I've been talking about the game from 4 years ago. Why? Because this was the time when I first played Apeirophobia, about 3 to 4 hours after Laughability made his first video. It felt so surreal playing through this backrooms game back then, and I can tell you that it was definitely a fun time with one of my friends. So, how well did they hold up in this retro mode reimagining? I actually liked the new changes to level 3. Level 3 back in 2022 felt so scary back then. Mainly because I was a scaredy cat, I got scared of everything. Then again, level 3 still does scare me because of how unexpected how it attacks you in that level. But seeing it on a more expanded and taking the look of a wiki version of level 4 is such a cool touch. And the texture is also looking different from almost half a decade ago, thus bringing a new charm to these levels. Now then again, my memory could be confusing me, but I do remember that we had like fully white, not these grey walls. Let me know. I love that level 4 is now more expansive and open, as before in the old version it was more claustrophobic in the kind of sense that from what I remember you weren't able to actually jump on the roof, as since the roof was very close to your head you would just hit it and then the jumping animation would cancel. I do hope that this level 4 is more forgiving than the original from way back in 2022, as the one in 2022 basically gave you a minute to find the exit, and if you didn't, you drown. I hope this one at least gives 2 to 3 minutes, so people who aren't familiar with the level have an easier time, but seeing that the roof is more upwards, maybe you can have more time if you swim upwards? I don't know, I'm overreaching. I love the entities in this game, as shown in the few pictures they show at the start, and especially the new bacteria redesign, giving it fungal-like type of a body, and also its movement feels so lively, which I know I've said a lot, but I swear, the bacteria actually feels like a real breathing monster. I'm actually surprised that the bacteria has over 30 unique animations, which is a far cry from what we used to get in all the Apeirophobia days, where we'd get like 2 to 4 animations. I already love the sounds that the bacteria makes, as it's unnerving, which is what an enemy is supposed to make you feel. Fear and uneasiness. Going off of that, let's continue with the music. From what we've been able to hear so far, and what Ambient has said about the music, is that Elsewhere will have a lot of music surrounding important moments and or characters. This is something that all Apeirophobia never had, as quite literally the tracks for each level were either ambience or small composed pieces of music. I'm looking forward to listening to the old Apeirophobia Chapter 1 music when Elsewhere's demo comes out, or full release. I didn't really understand that part. Ambient then says that they're trying to make the music more emotional and that the music should hopefully reflect that. I also like that we'll be able to connect with our protagonist with the music, which was something I couldn't understand in the original Apeirophobia. Being so for real, I've probably listened to the Tsuna lore explication videos at least twice or thrice. I still do not remember anything about the story. Speaking of story, they did talk about not needing to watch a YouTube lore explanation anymore about the story, but we'll see how that holds up when the full release comes out. The hub has been completely refurbished a bit from what was the old one before the whole Polaroid and Black Corridor drama happened. Now I like the new upgrades to the hub so far, and I also like the graffiti. That's actually such a neat change that they actually did. I don't know how they did that. And we can talk about the menu UI. In rooms, it shows retro mode on chapters. Now while this may seem a little bit confusing, I think the reason it's on the chapter tab is because technically it is a new chapter. It'd be like playing a pre-release state from something from over 4 years ago, which is what is exactly the plan. You can choose the levels, which I'm guessing it's like its old self, where you have to beat the levels to be able to choose set levels, difficulties, and more. One thing I did like is that finally, after 4 years of Apeirophobia being out, you don't actually have to pay 800 Robux so you can invite 6 to more people, instead having the player sizes be of 6, with more being added with the game passes of course. Right now, the privacy of the lobbies works like Apeirophobia does right now, public and private. Put the code in on private and enter. Something that they've noted though, is that you'll be able to lock the room base if you have game passes, and who doesn't, which is something great. In the old Apeirophobia, I know I'm saying this a lot, if you wanted a clean run and had people who had game passes on your friends list, you had to go into your inventory, disable them, and then go back inside. If somebody forgot, then oh well, that clean run's busted. With this, it means that that shouldn't happen, as long as the owner of the lobby doesn't forget to put the lock for game passes, of course. Inventory is almost the same as the old game, aside from some titles being removed, like the Metallica ones, the cheerful one you got by entering a code that was only attainable for a bit. And from what I'm hearing, perks mean something different than game passes, as the day that you collect them mean we can possibly get the benefits of game passes for free? I don't know, I'm overreaching. Speaking of the menu, settings. And thank God, we finally made it out of the slums! Hell yeah! From what I remember, well, Apeirophobia never had any motion sickness option, which for a pretty big game is something that should have been at launch, but hey, at least we're actually getting it for launch on this game. Something else I'm actually excited about is the speedrun timer being integrated into the game as an option for you to enable. When I saw this in one of the footage of this devlog, I was actually ecstatic. Most of you don't know, but I used to be into speedrunning as a hobby. This is something that is very much good to have if you're a speedrunner. And something else is that we're finally able to revamp our keybinds! We are truly back! Holy god! It's surprising that new Apeirophobia doesn't have this, much less the old one before all the drama happened. As for badges, again, I am very much looking forward to that. I like the challenge that they want to impose on these badges, especially the John Elsewhere. You know I will be grinding for that as soon as I'm able to. I love that they're adding badges for updates with different challenges and more, as it gives something brand new to do while you wait for another update, instead of waiting 3 to 6 months for the possibility of an update on a game with no replayability. Also, I like the way that we're gonna be able to be notified of how much progress we're making on those, as Apeirophobia, again, didn't have this. I do want to get all of the badges when the demo comes out, so be definitely on the lookout for that if I don't forget to do that thing. I love that they're gonna be leaning towards progression in Elsewhere, as that was something that Apeirophobia was missing. Something that you can go and start achieving aside from the gamer and the complete chapter 1 with your flashlight turned off in one sitting. And that's it. There's nothing else. Wait, was there still a few more minutes left in the video?
What is this?
Whoa! I want to talk about the Elsewhere Level 0. This has been completely remade from the ground up, being so much different than what Apeirophobia and, in my opinion, any other vacuum sim has made so far. Everything has this uncanny feeling, like it's something that wasn't supposed to be there or be found. Also, what do you mean the entity can drop down? This already leaks better than the Apeirophobia. I'm actually liking this so much. Lastly, I am astounded that we can hide in the walls. No more hiding in lockers, and some levels don't make sense. Seriously, why would a garage need lockers everywhere? Actually, one last thing to note. I like the death animation, and I love the voice acting. Realism on games is something that I really like, so hearing a voice actor that actually displays the fear in the character is something that I'm very appreciative of. Now, before this video ends, I want to give my predictions on what the start of the story of Elsewhere will be. Will I be correct? Time will tell, but I'll definitely be way off than correct. I think us, the protagonist, is riding back home one fateful day until a tree falls onto our car and we get no time to react, or a tree falls onto the road and then we get no time to react and crash into it. We wake up pretty dazed with more brain damage than I do on a normal Monday, and we follow a trail of footsteps into the forest. We find a camera where we learn how to use it before continuing on forwards, ending up at a wall. We look through our camera and see that it's technically passable, as in the camera it shows nothing. With nothing to lose, we go forwards and find the bend. We crawl down until we reach level 0, which is where the gameplay we see at the end of the video plays out. Of course, with us living it, I'm guessing, because the gameplay preview isn't the actual story. Now, I absolutely adore this devlog. It shows a lot of potential of the game, and I just can't wait to try the demo out for myself when it comes out. Something I do want to say is I'm actually surprised that they made an entire 20-minute long devlog. I thought it'd be 10 minutes, which is what I hope the other devlogs are, because it definitely felt like there was just way too much info. I would have loved if they've given us more breathing room, for example, releasing a part in April where they had built up to that point, and then on June where they released the other part, albeit a bit more smaller, with what they had to build up to said point and so on. This would have made the overall devlog less of a huge blow the video, where for some normal viewers it might be too much to take into the same time, as new mechanics and entity sounds, rework levels, and more could have definitely been added in another explanation of the devlog. Either way, that was a 9 out of 10 devlog. Bravo! I can't wait for the demo. And that's it. 50,000 words later, and we've reached the end. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. This has been the Roll channel, and I'll see you later.